Women have a problem. The problem is men who listen. Now, just hear me out for a second. Give me a second or two. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a good thing. It is what it is. It's relative. But this is what I mean. When men listen, it's a good thing because they become a little bit more understanding. You know, it's not all about them and it's about other people. It's about her. It broadens the relationship. It broadens the connection because you give more opportunities to share, more opportunities to understand, to know each other. So when men listen, it's a good thing because she can express herself now and he can hear and digest and take in some of these things now. And then it gives him a better perspective of who his partner, who is dating, who this person is. That's a good thing. Here's where it's a bad thing. There are many times in relationships, and I've heard this from numerous women, so I'm not going to act like it's the holy gospel for women, but I know that there is a crowd. I've heard of many women who have said they don't necessarily want their man to listen. They want their man to do. I've heard some women even go so far as to say a man ain't really a man unless he does it himself. Now, I don't mean necessarily by himself, but I mean like not because I told him to, but because he thought he knew that that's what needed to be done. That's manly. Ooh, gets my nipples hard, girl. I've heard that before. Like when a man does what needs to be done. Not, girl, I get so turned on when he listens to me. Like I tell him to go do A, B, C, and D, and then he goes and does A, B, C, and D. I haven't heard too many women talk about how much that turns them on. I've heard women say that that's what they want. I need a man that listens. I need a man that it's not all about him and his emotions, and he can hear me and he can see me. A man that, I can have a conversation with. I need a man that can listen. But I've heard way more women in actuality speak about what moves them, what moves the little needle, the little man in the canoe, in the boat down there, if you know what I'm talking about. I've heard way more women say that what turns them on about a man is when he just does it. Think about it, like sometimes somebody might have had this example, going out or figuring where to go out, what to eat, what to do. And she's like, what to watch? Oh, you pick something. And then he goes to pick it. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. He goes to pick something else. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, what do you want to do? Whatever. You pick. So she wants him to take action. But she also wants him to respect when she says no. It is what it is. It's understandable. But it turns women into a hypocrite because you just told me to pick. I picked. You said no. Okay, fine. I picked again. You said no. So now I have to come back to you and say, what do you want? And then you hit the ball right back to me and say, I don't know, whatever. That's bullshit. So that's what women do. I want a man that listens. I want a man that listens. I'm tired of these men out here just blah, blah, blah. I think that women are just supposed to accept whatever. And then, that's abusive. That's toxic. I need a man that can listen to what I'm going through, what we're going through. And yet you want a man that just does what needs to be done. What you want is a man that does what you want him to do. That's another discussion. I actually have another video for it. So go through the channel videos. You'll find it or whatever. So it's a good thing that he listens, right? Because he's not just some Neanderthal caveman out here beating his chest and telling me to spread my legs. But you don't want some lame ass motherfucker that's like, you can't make a decision, you gotta wait for me to tell you. That's not attractive. I've heard women say this. So it's like, which one do you want? Here's another thing. It parlays into some of what I just said. Say in the bedroom, I need a man that can read my cue, read my body cues. You know what I'm saying? This is the time when the grind, and this is the time when the, swirl. This is, like, can you mix it up? Like I said in another video, a woman didn't tell me this, but I heard her mention this in conversation. I was like, that's good. She was like, you don't have to be a boxer. You don't have to beat the pussy up. Be more like a painter. Do strokes. There's times when the stroke is a little bit harder. There's times when it's softer. There's times when it's faster. Okay, that sounds like good advice. I'm listening to you, right? I'm listening to you, right? I'm listening to you. Good thing, right? Now he won't come out there like Mike Tyson and shit. He comes out there like Picasso, I guess. I don't really know my painters. And yet, or say during sex, there's some women, it's like, they might be like, oh, faster, oh, harder, oh, whatever, let's try this, let's switch up and do this position or something. And they want that man to be responsive to it. The man should be responsive to it. It's her body you're entering. And yet, I've heard women express that they like being taken. With their consent, mostly. But they like for the man to just do. Like, he was just so turned on. He was so driven. It was something about that. The way he looked at me, the way that he approached me. He was, I could smell it, girl. It's like, that sounds half rapey. So it's a good thing if he listens to you. Like, yeah, go faster. Yeah, like, slow down, whatever, pause. Yeah, whatever the fuck. But you also like it and want him to just take you. What? So the problem for women is men who listen. Because the men who listen, and I'm one of them at times. The problem is the men who listen, we actually go into it like, I was raised by a good woman, my mother, my grandmother, this and that, or I got sisters, I got daughters. I want to be a better man. I want to, and I'm going to make a video about this, a for real honest question about what men can do to make the world better for women. Just my honest question, and I'd like to get different people's comments and feedbacks in this video or when I actually put the video out. But my point being is I'm one of those men that's like, I want to hear, partly because I'm a Sigma male, so I'm very inquisitive about certain things. I'd really like to hear why you like that, why you don't like that, why you did what you did, But the problem is that there is something in women that instinctively responds to when a man does something. Now that something is the variable. We'll call that X. But there's something about women that responds in a very instinctive way to when a man does something. And so when you're listening, you are doing something, but you're not. So when a man somehow magically hits the spot of doing something, and it just so happened to be what she wanted, oh, she loves this motherfucker. She loves this motherfucker. He raped me just the way I wanted to be raped. That's the wrong term. I didn't really mean to say that. I'm joking. I shouldn't use the word rape in a jokey way. But my point being is he took me in the way that I wanted to be taken. What? But you hit her spot. She loves you. She climbed up the wall on that one because you did what she wanted you to do. How many times have dudes in a relationship or whatever, have you heard this or seen this? It's not that you did what I told you to do, or the dude's like, what's the problem? I did what you told me to do, or I didn't do whatever you're upset about. The action. The dude is focused on the action. And at some point she comes with, it's not about what you did, it's about how you did it. Or it's not that you did it. It's that you didn't think about me. Which is like valid. Which is like fully like, but then when you think about her, you fully go in your mind, you go through all of the steps of thinking about her, and you put something into action, and when it don't hit, you don't get no cookie for that. You might not get no nookie for that. Like, it's like, thank you, but nah, I don't feel like doing it. So my point being is the problem for women, and I'm being sarcastic, the problem for women is not women. The problem is obviously men who listen. So there are times when I listen, and then I go, oh, dummy. You have to not listen. You have to be a nice asshole. You have to give a fuck, but not listen. Or listen, but not give a fuck. Like, you got to mix it up. And then that keeps them like, oh no, he's one of the good ones, even though he just cussed me out 5 minutes ago. Like, I'm gonna stay married to him, even though, he don't watch movies with me anymore. Like, whatever the fuck it is. So when you fully like try to listen, like appease, it don't work out. It don't work out. But you don't necessarily want to be the asshole. The toxic person that doesn't listen and did whatever they wanted to do, and you wouldn't want somebody to do that to your mom, your sister, your aunts, your nieces, your daughters, granddaughters. So, it is up for men to listen. It is up for men to hear, to ask the questions, and to listen, and to try to digest that. It's just at some point in time, we have to figure out the different instances where it's like, oh yeah, I can't give a fuck about what you think, because I can't give a fuck about your perspective, because if I do, I'll be caught in this endless fucking loop, jumping from one foot to the next on what I did, when it was really about. So if I don't listen, I don't necessarily make that same mistake. So I'm mostly joking, but that's the video. Let me know if you agree, disagree, if you got some similar instances. It is what it is. And hey, I'm saying this from the male side. I am quite sure there are different things that women go through dealing with men that's like, these motherfuckers. But whatever, it's your boy Diversified. I get at you. Stay safe out there.